Welcome back again to a different opinion. Today we have a pretty interesting one here from the Daily Wire. It's actually about Google's new autocorrect algorithm, and it's quite interesting when you actually read about it. But I just wanted to kind of point out how behind Australian news is, because this is news that just came out today in Australia. For example, here came out 5 hours ago. This one here as well came out 22nd of the 4th, so 2 days ago in Australia. And it's the exact same thing as the Daily Wire reported a good nearly a year ago on May the 20th, 2021. I'll quickly read through just kind of like overlining for you if you didn't know about this. So Google Documents changes autocorrect algorithm to be more inclusive. The wokeness is coming. Google Docs will now make more inclusive suggestions and edits in its predictive text algorithm. The technology will now correct gendered words such as mailman to mail carrier or chairman to chairperson. On Monday the 18th, Google held its virtual I/O developer conference. The Daily Mail reported that the new update to Google Doc will suggest ways to avoid offensive language and gendered language. I'm just wondering, like, what if you're actually saying mailman because there was actually a mail bringing you the mail? You can say, the mailman actually dropped off the wrong mail today. No, sorry, you got to say mail carrier. Why can't you do gendered things anymore? I just don't understand it. Why is that like a thing? Why do people get like offended if someone's like, hey, you're a male woman? Like, they're not going to be like, no, I'm not. I'm actually just a carrier. Like, so stupid. But yeah, anyway, I digress. Google has made similar changes in 2018 after the company fell under fire for its predictive gendered pronoun language. The company opted to remove gender pronouns from the predictive text feature altogether. Product leaders told Reuters that the technology had to be changed to avoid offending users. Google technology will not suggest gender-based pronouns because the risk is too high that its smart compose technology might predict someone else's text, sex, or gender identity incorrectly and offend users. Oh my lord, this is literally like Google, I hope you go broke because you guys have gone super woke. They're that big at the moment that, it's very hard for them to go broke. But I really, really hope these guys can actually just get a bit of a wake up call, because I mean, far out, like, I don't know anyone, maybe probably, let's say, I probably this probably only affects like 3%, 2%, maybe even only 1% of people that actually care about these things. Like, and it's always like, we all know this is true, that it's always the small fringe minority that make the loudest noise. It might only be 10 people or 30 people in the whole of Google out of thousands of employees that'll be like, oh my gosh, can you believe this? Look at these suggested texts that I got. Say, mailman, how dare they? Like, what is this? And that's for them the biggest thing in their life. That just shows how far we've come as a society, that the biggest thing we worry about is gender pronouns, them guessing your gender, your sex, all this stupid stuff. Like, I mean, seriously, man. Like, that's why you look back in the medieval times. I mean, Joe Rogan's spoken about this on his podcast a few times, where the only reason why we're so far ahead in technology and why people are how they are, because every night we don't have to worry about someone maybe jumping over our castle walls and raping and killing everyone. Like, there's no more worry for that. You know what I mean? Like, we're not worried. I'm not worried tonight that, you know, some random savage tribe's going to break into our little community here and start killing everyone and burning people and stuff like that. That's not even a thought now. So it just gives us that freedom to actually expand like we are now. And this is where stupidness comes into it. I mean, you look at Disney, all with the Marvel and everything, they're all going woke, and no one even, like, it's literally going broke for them, which is so good, especially to see what's happening to Disney at the moment. It's amazing. So good to see. Google already banned expletives and slurs and predictive technology, as well as mentions of business rivals or tragic events in history. The Google style guide was also updated to be more understanding of mental health. The style guide suggests changing the words crazy to baffling, dummy variable to placeholder variable, the final sanity check to final check, completeness and clarity. This, man, this is why the world's becoming such a snowflake thing at the moment, I swear. Sundar Pichai, the chief executive officer of Google and Alphabet, committed the company to focus on social and racial justice issues in June 2020. But it's just these ones with the crazy placeholder variable, final sanity check. I mean, who cares, man? Like, what the hell? This is not affecting us. We don't, like, people don't think like that. It's just that small minority making their big noise again, having a cry about everything. So I'll jump into the Australian one here. So this is from 3AW. Google has introduced a woke new autocorrect feature on Google Docs. You're only about a year behind Australia. Well done again. Users who write words such as landlord or fireman will see an inclusive language warning. Tech expert Jeff Quattromani says writers will be promoted to use more inclusive alternatives. That means that if you type something in like whitelist or blacklist or even master bedroom, you would actually be corrected and told, maybe you should change the word to something more inclusive. Oh. Imagine seeing that. I would literally just... This is why... I remember it was probably only about like a month ago. Me and my girlfriend, we were looking for a laptop for her just to help with university things and stuff like that and studying. So we ended up buying this laptop. I didn't really look into it too much. I was just looking at the specs, really. So we ended up buying it. We realized it was actually run on the Chrome system. And straight away, we were like, nah, let's return it. We returned it like within a couple hours. It was gone. Like, the Google system is just so bad. Like, Microsoft like absolutely owns it in every and any capacity, in my opinion. It was the dumbest thing to use. I felt like a freaking 5-year-old kid trying to use a computer. And like, we all know how to use computers these days, and that thing was honestly the worst thing I've ever seen. So never ever buy a Chromebook or anything Chrome unless you're 5 years old. So these changes are going to be rolled out across the Google Docs services across the world. The inclusive language feature has been automatically enabled for all users, but can be turned off, and users are invited to offer its feedback on it. Mr. Quattromani says some of the corrections it's suggesting are puzzling. One word, for example, is motherboard, he said. You can't replace that with something else, but when you type that into Google Docs, it shows an inclusion warning. Wow, what a good system. And he even knows it. So why do they have the system? Like, all right, I'll digress on that one. But let me know what you think. If you think this is absolutely stupid, please let me know why. If you think it is a good thing, also give me a reason why. Otherwise, if you want to see future videos like this, where you just kind of bring up interesting things here and there about the wokeness that kind of goes, you know, under the radar. People don't really talk about these type of things. But yeah, if you want to see more, give it a like, subscribe to see future videos, and then I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.